I'm Michael Brandon. I own Michael Brandon Styling here in Greenville, North Carolina, and I'm a hairdresser for men and women. And I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I've lived here in Greenville for 25 years. So I was 13 when I moved to Greenville from Chicago, and my mother is from Blackjack, North Carolina. So my father got around retirement age, and we decided to move here to Greenville. And I hated it for a good 20 years until I eventually fell in love with it. So I'll hope to be here all my life. We have an incredible community here. There's not a lot of situations like in Greenville in most places. Like we have the opportunity to kind of create our own city here. So it's rare to have the opportunity to have such an influence in the growth of your town. So to see what's happened here on Dickinson and to have some influence in it is quite a privilege. I fell in love with this location before I ever saw it. So I called up my realtor one day when the Dickinson Avenue Public House had first opened, and they're friends of mine, and when I saw what was happening here on Dickinson, I wanted to be a part of it. So I called my realtor that day and said, find me something on Dickinson, and he said, that's crazy. I just hung out the phone with the landlord, and he said, find me a barber for Dickinson. So I came here on my lunch break that day, and I was standing out front reading that sign was on the front door, and I snapped that picture that day when I came here on my lunch break, and it's James Page, the last owner's farewell letter to his clients, and it just says how much he loved and appreciated his clients and how they were friends to him and how he loves so much taking care of them. And the last line says, I hope one day you find a barber that's as good to you as you were to me. And before I even walked in here, my realtor walked up and I said, I want it, it's mine, make it happen. And after a year of negotiation, we made it happen. Yeah, this barbershop was built in 1921 by the Page family and was run independently by their family all through the Great Depression, through the 20s and 30s. And this was when this was mainly the tobacco warehouse district. And there was a huge tobacco warehouse right across the street. And there was a shower in the shop when I first got it in the back. So I was wondering if he lived here, and his granddaughter had told me that they would come in out of the tobacco fields just covered in mud, and he would ask them to take a shower. And while they took a shower, he would shine their shoes and then cut their hair, all for a nickel. So all through the Great Depression, shower, shoe shine, and a haircut for a nickel. And he then eventually passed it on to his son James, who was the last owner before I got it. And we completely gutted this place so that it had fallen apart over the years. And so we did a complete overhaul. The only thing original in this building is the brick. My original degree was in electronics engineering technology, and I was looking for work as a robotics engineer, and I was just miserable. I guess I was chasing money, and I come from a family of barbers, so I looked at their life and it seemed appealing. I was looking for a way to own my own business, and I thought hairdressing would be the lowest risk to own my own business. So I had been offered a position here in Greenville as a robotics engineer, and I turned it down to go to hair school. And I was actually at Chico's downtown one night with my friend, and I had passed up this position and thought I made a horrible mistake, and was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And she said, well, why don't you do hair? Your whole family is from that industry. And the more we talked about it, the more it seemed like a good move. And she had urged me to do women's hair, and I told her she was crazy because I've never touched a hair dryer. I had never used a curling iron. I knew nothing about women's hair. But she had a friend, Matt Holder, who owns a successful hair salon in Greenville, she said, "You should talk to Matt. I think you guys would get along. He loves what he does, and I think he would be happy." And he walked into Chico's at that moment while we were sitting at the bar, and he walked right up to us. And within 15 minutes, he convinced me to be a women's hairdresser. And so it felt like fate. So that taught me a lot about trusting your intuition, and it worked out gratefully. So this is a full-service hair salon for men and women. So I offer color services, chemical services, hair cutting for men and women, hot shaves for men, everything that a typical hair salon would offer other than waxing. It's incredible to live in a community that supports you so much. So I took a big risk at 30 years old to become a hairdresser, and wasn't sure if I would like it or if I would be successful. But within the first month of doing hair, I was so inspired by this community that supported me and encouraged me, and saw something in me that they thought would make me successful. So it was really Greenville that created this opportunity for me. I think COVID is possibly the best thing that has ever happened to us. I think we would never hit the pause button on our own. I think our culture, with the rise of technology, has lost a lot of who we are. And I think COVID gave us an opportunity to reflect and to humble us, because we get caught up in our daily lives and we forget what's important. And COVID forced us to sit down and take a breath and reflect upon what's important. And nothing is more important than my business. So it was a scary feeling to not have the opportunity to come here every day, but it also made me grateful for it, and to appreciate it. I don't know that I've ever thought about that. I think I have a gift for empathy for people. I think I'm able to see people where they are and respect everyone for where they are. I've certainly been through a lot in my life, and I would never judge someone for where they are in life. I think everything we experience gets us to who we eventually become. So I think those of us who see that as an opportunity are those of us who find success through trials. To be happy, I suppose. It seems more difficult than it used to be. We live in uncertain times, to say the least. So I hope that the way I live my life is by example. I want us all to be happy and successful. I hope we figure out how to do that. That's amazing. My brother and my father were both airplane mechanics, and they always rode motorcycles and worked on bikes and cars, and I never shared that passion, so I was much younger than my brother, and they always tried to get me to learn about working on vehicles. And then in 2010 my father passed away, and in 2014 my brother passed away. So I bought my first dirt bike that same year that my brother had passed away. And if you own a bike, you have to learn to work on a bike. So it's become a special place for me to be with my family whenever I'm riding or working on bikes. So it's my meditation, it's my therapist, it's my release. And actually it's my birthday next week, and I'm going tomorrow to buy a new motorcycle. That's my birthday present to myself. If I had a question to ask Greenville, it would be what do you want to create here? Like, we have an incredible opportunity that not many cities have in the outlying areas like Farmville and Tarboro and Winterville and Washington. We all have this incredible opportunity to build and create the town we want to live in. Established cities did not have that opportunity, so what would you like to see from this community? Because the opportunity to create that is here. I love this community, and I would not have this shop without the support of Greenville. So I'm truly grateful to this community for encouraging me and giving me the opportunity to have such a great life. I'm truly humbled by all the support I get from Greenville, and it makes me so proud to live here. So thank you all so much for making this possible.